Hey, so my name's Tate Kirchenschlager. In this segment, we're going to talk about getting your horse's hip from going underneath the rope. So keeping your horse's hip to the left when you set up the steer through the turn. And it's brought to you by Genuine Billy Cook Saddles. So right here, I'm pushing with my right leg. Push with my right leg. Get the weight. Push with my right leg. Push with my right leg. A lot of things you see in head horses is, and a lot of people ask me all the time, when I run up there and rope the steer and I get a hold of the steer and the horse feels the weight of the steer, they want to throw their rope underneath the rope when they turn. And when that happens, your horse isn't strong enough to pull the steer and your horse isn't set up to face. So, there's a couple things you can do to prevent that. Like, so on those three runs we made on this horse, like when I was going to the steer, like I'm pushing with my right leg. And what I mean by that is my right leg is pushing on the back in front of my back cinch. So I'm trying to drive this horse's hip through his left shoulder. So I'm trying to get his hip pushing through his left shoulder and his shoulder up. So what that'll do is when I rope, so when I run up there and I rope the steer and I get the weight of the steer, the first thing I'm gonna do is push with my right leg. Push your horse's hip to the left, and when your horse's shoulder is wanting to go down, just lift with your left hand to the right and push your right leg to the left, and it'll push his hip over. And I know that sounds like a lot and it sounds hard to do and all that, but there's some drills you can do like before you rope on your horse to get him doing that. So like, a lot of people think, okay, if my horse is throwing his hip underneath the rope, I'm gonna lope him around and just counter arc him like this. I'm gonna counter arc him. Well, honestly, that's opposite, because when you see me counter arcing this horse, his shoulder's going to the left, but what's his hip doing? His hip's swinging to the right. So you're swinging his hip underneath the rope when you're loping around making him counter arc. So you almost like a good drill to get their hip underneath him. Like I like to back those horses up and push his hip to the left and make his shoulder come to the right when I'm backing him up. So I might even start in a straight line, and then I'm gonna use my right leg and push that hip to the left. So by doing that, his hip's going to the left and his shoulder's going to the right. So I'll be backing him up here. I'll add my right leg, out, get out. So when I'm doing this, when I add pressure with my right spur right in front of my back cinch, it's moving his hip to the left and his shoulder's naturally stepping to the right. So if your horse is having a trouble swinging his ass underneath the rope, two things. His ass is going to the right and his shoulder's going down. So you have to get his shoulder up and his ass to the left to be able to get it up underneath the rope. So by doing this drill, it'll make it to where when you run up there and rope and you pull your slack and you pick your hand up, first thing he's gonna do is his shoulder's gonna come up, and then you're gonna use your right leg and his hip's gonna come over. And then you have him set up through the turn how you want. You can get him picked up. So it's a good drill to do. Like I said, everybody thinks lope him around and counter arc him. Yes, that is good, but not for this. Like I think you need to push the hip around your horse like this and back him up and get him coming back to you and getting his leg up underneath him.